I'm with Sideline Power. I'm the drone specialist with Sideline Power, and they asked me to kind of come up here and talk a little bit about drones and how they're used in football, how they're getting used in football. If you Google drones in football, there's not a whole lot that comes up right now. It's kind of on the cutting edge of the technology. So when you're looking at it, why do people use drones? So people use drones as a mobile video platform. You can track practice all the way across the field. You don't have to have stationary cameras set up and, panning up and down the field, or have everybody running, scrimmages all in one area of the field. They can kind of flow up and down the field as they're going. There is automatic subject tracking. So we sell the DJI drones, and all of the DJI drones come with active track. So you can actually select a player or an area and have the drone automatically track that through the progression of the scrimmage. It gives you a bird's eye view, so you can analyze video footage from a whole new angle. They're portable, so it's a whole lot more portable, easier to use than, say, an end zone camera or some of the other sideline camera setups, piggyback systems, things like that. And there's easy media integration. So you've got a micro SD card that just pops out of the drone. You can stick it in your computer and upload all your video to your cloud platform, Huddle or whatever else you use. So some of the questions that I get asked a lot are about the legality of flying drones. When can we fly them? When can we not fly them? How do we do this? You don't need a license. You don't need so the drones are regulated by the FAA, right? Same guys that do all the airplanes, air traffic control, stuff like that. But if you are flying as a hobbyist, you do not need a license. You do not need a drone pilot license. What you have to do is you have to register the drone with the FAA. It's a very simple process. There's a serial number on each drone. You go to the FAA's registration website. You put that serial number in. It kicks out a unique identifier number. You have to put that identifier on the outside of the drone so that if it crashes somewhere and somebody picks it up, they can put this identifier in and it pulls all of your information. So it's kind of a double-blind system where you don't have to put all your personal information out there, but somebody can use this unique identification number to then get the drone to the proper people who can get it back to you. You have to make sure that the drone is flown in line of sight at all times. So there's a couple stipulations to that. You can have spotters. In most football scenarios, you're not going to have, you're not going to be flying it outside of the stadium or the field house or anything else while you're practicing. So that's usually not an issue. And if you are within 5 miles of an airport, you have to call that airport and you have to let them know that you're going to be flying the drone before you fly it. So other than that, there are some one-off situations where school districts will have specific rules for that school district, but because it's such a new technology, burgeoning innovation, it doesn't happen a lot, right? There's not a whole lot of rules and regulations around flying drones. The applications and limitations: when you have a drone, it has ultimate mobility, right? You don't have to sit in one spot. Like I said, you can fly it all the way around the field. You get a great view, and you've got a single videographer. So instead of having 3 guys on 3 different cameras trying to get a shot of a scrimmage or a play or whatever the progression is that you're working on at that time, you've got one guy sitting there. He's got the video feed. He takes the drone. He does this over here. You guys break up into smaller groups. He gets this over here. He goes and flies over here and gets that. FAA regulations prohibit flying over crowds. So most school districts will not let you fly during a game. If you do have a school district that will allow you to fly it during a game, it will be typically regulated to the end zone, okay? But FAA regulations say that you can't fly it over a crowd, so that kind of takes most game situations out right there. Takeaways: drones really are going to be the future of practice film. They're super portable, super mobile. They've got great picture quality, 4K video on everything. You really need to register your drone. That's kind of the biggest thing out of this whole thing, is that to make sure that you're above the board and legal with everything, you want to register your drone and you want to have that identification number on the outside of your drone. If you don't do that and something happens, big, huge penalties from the FAA. And then check all local regulations, and then check any district-specific regulations. So like local regulations, like for the city of Omaha, there are places in the city of Omaha where you can and cannot fly drones. So you need to know that for your area, and then you also need to know any sort of specific regulations for your school district. Some school districts require, for insurance purposes, they require the person flying the drone to actually go through the FAA program and get the pilot's license. Some of them don't. So just make sure that when you're doing the drones, you want to do everything legally. So as long as you follow these bullet points, you should be good to go. And if you have any questions, I'll be in the back, and let me know.